So while this whole like black fatigue is going around, I really want to talk about because a lot of black people just like me would get shut down in the community for talking about this kind of stuff, okay? We usually get called names like coon, whitewashed, Uncle Tom. And Uncle Tom is personally my favorite because I know a lot of black people who have never actually read Uncle Tom's Cabin. I also know that a lot of black people, because I read the book, let a lot of white people convince them that Uncle Tom was actually a bad person. All y'all have to do is read the book. Like, it's really not that hard. It's not. But I am truly glad that this conversation is being had because y'all, black people like me, because I know I'm not the only one, we always get shut down in our own communities. And typically it's our family members that never told us that we were white in any way, shape, or form, right? Like in my personal case, my family always told me like, no, you don't sound white, you just speak proper English. No, it's not white that you like to read or learn languages or learn in general. No, it's not white that you do well in school. No, it's not white that you like pop music. No, it's not white that you like to dress the way that you dress. Like, you see what I mean? My family members were absolutely amazing, and that's why I feel like I personally never needed movements like BLM. I never needed it because my life mattered to the people I knew it mattered to. I did not need my life to matter to every other black person out there because, let's be honest, any other random black person out there will look at me as just another black person, so they can probably get away with hurting me, right? Think about it. Because the only time when black people would truly rally around each other is if a white person kills another black person. Black people have it in their head that, you know what, I can do whatever the fuck I want to a black person because I'm black. And I don't like that sentiment. You know what I mean? Because you could see it play out in our actual communities where we're shooting and killing each other. We don't care where the bullets land. We just want to hit our target. Never mind the innocent children and people walking around. You don't give a shit. And you feel like that it's totally fine. Why? Because you're black. Who told you that was okay, y'all? Like, think about it. Who the fuck told you that was okay? And I feel like when you remove accountability from black people, right, when you're like, y'all, this is wrong, and they're like, nope, 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 I'm black, so I can do whatever I want. That's where it starts to get very toxic, okay? That's where you start justifying things like racism, right? I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this. I see racism as racist. Regardless who is doing it, I don't give a shit about your skin color. Racism is racism. And guess what? Racism is wrong. If it was wrong back then, you doing it in your black skin, it is wrong. It's wrong. I don't know how you can justify that shit. Like, that is wild to me. Call me crazy, but I call that being fair. Call me crazy, but I don't believe in fighting fire with fire. Call me crazy, but I don't think that being racist will solve racism. Okay? You don't want racism then. You just want it to happen to other people and then be justified in doing it. I don't know why, but that is toxic and that is wrong. And again, it just shows how, the black community has slipped completely. I think the one thing that I am most tired of, that I am most fatigued about, is always having to defend my blackness against black people. Yeah, I am so sick of it. These are the same black people who would literally look at you and just be like, well, you're just another black girl. And that's how the world will see you. Like, no, that's what you think of yourself. And that's what you think of other black people, that they're just other black people. Like, their lives doesn't matter. They're not a mom. They're not a sister. They're not a friend. They're not an aunt. They're nothing. They're nothing to me personally. Again, goes right back to why I never needed the BLM movement, because I had a very much strong family structure. Never needed outsiders. To outsiders, I always had to defend my blackness, okay? The way that I speak, far too white, not enough AAVE, which a lot of black people do not know. If you would just pick up a book and read sometime, a lot of that language, this, that, ain't, all the loud speaking, the drunkenness, kids out of wedlock, stuff like that all came from the south of England and Scotland. Because guess what? Most of the slaves brought over from the transatlantic slave trade actually went way south. I'm talking South America south. Only a few of them came to America, like the United States of America. And those Africans weren't speaking English. They had to learn it from somewhere. We all know that every single white person back then were not slaveholders, right? So there were some poor white people out there who were talking to a lot of poor black people, and they had a lot of the same cultures. They had to learn it from somewhere. Does that mean we blame today's white people for it? No. Absolutely not. Because I'm not over 250 years old. I've never had to experience that. And me personally, I don't believe in taking on someone's trauma that I've never been through. I don't think I ever want to go through that. And to fetish that kind of lifestyle, like to have a fetish for that, is weird. It is so weird to me. The way that I dress, far too white for other people, okay? Apparently heels, skirts, and dresses and dressing girly was just too white for my black peers, okay? For example, this is one thing. I'm in my work clothes, but I do love me a good cardigan. Another one, another outfit, again, considered too white. This was considered white. The gloves apparently made this white. This was also considered white. So was this one too. This was considered white. This is considered white. And so was this one. Yeah, as you can tell, my skin color did not change in any of those pictures, right? Like, lighting obviously makes a difference, but you didn't see that I got whiter. I've never gotten any whiter. You can tell that I just dress more feminine, very girly. Like, my personal favorite decades for fashion would be like the 1930s up until like 1979. But exploring yourself as a black person, dressing what they call out of the norm, they call this doing too much. They think that you're trying to be white by doing this, by dressing like this. They think that you're trying to dress for male attention when you're experimenting with different style. Their favorite word to use for me is whitewashed. Okay, they're like, well, she's whitewashed. She dresses like this because she's whitewashed. She's a suburban black girl, so she's whitewashed. It's even gotten so bad to a point of where they start analyzing my facial features. Your nose and your lips and your jaw is just not as big. You're not an accurate representation of black. I've been told that I do not look unambiguously black in the face, and I do not like that because I'm like, why are black people actually analyzing my face like this? Because like I said before, they are the same people where they're like the whole world looks at you as only a black person. You can truly tell that black people are genuinely ruled by their skin color. And I do not like that. I want that to change for our community because we can be better. Bringing each other down literally does nothing, y'all. It does nothing for us. It literally divides us. That's why you do see when a lot of black people make it, they move out of the hood. They do, and it's true. I'm one of those people where it's like, I had to go. You just had to because it gets too bad. But I'm glad we're finally talking about stuff like this because I think we need to open up more conversations to us black people who do not subscribe to this kind of behavior and that's just lifestyle. We do not subscribe to it.